Ready! Aim! Out! Detail! Out! Have! Peace!
He served his country well. A proud American. And I know Carville would have been proud to see you succeed him as Commander General of the Allied Forces. General, we need you to take us the rest of the way. Next stop, the Kremlin. Special Agent Tanya has the job of moving inside the Kremlin and finding Romanov, who will pay for all the millions of innocent lives he took. Remember, we're still outnumbered 3-1, so we'll be marching everyone we can through the Chronosphere and the Keys. Once they appear in Russia, they're all yours, Commander. Take the Kremlin, Commander. Let's end this war.
New objective received.
Seal ready. Let's get it on. Seal ready. Let's get it down.
Welcome back, Commander, to the final mission in the Allied campaign.
Incoming transmission.
Commander, reports from our Chrono troops in the field indicate you are all clear. They're ready to receive your MCV.
Teleporting troops arriving in...
Glad you found us, sir. We're freezing out here.
There's a lot to
construction options.
dissect at
New
the start.
objective received. Building.
First off, how are we getting a plane over Moscow with no air defenses? You know what? Maybe it's not all that great to dissect it too much. There's a few things to talk about. First off, while there is a tech airport to the top right of our base, sadly it's guarded by a sentry turret, so it's not something that you can just immediately capture. There's also a number of oil derricks for us to capture, which is really nice because, well, you're going to have to rely on that sort of income, at least for a little bit. And once you get near the end game, it's definitely going to be a very beneficial thing to have.
Construction complete. Unit promoted.
You should generally focus on two things when starting out. First, if possible, try to develop your base to the point where you have maybe a couple ore refineries, at least
Unit
like
ready.
4, I'd say,
Building.
miners,
Structure
and definitely get a
garrison.
war factory,
Building.
because aside from a barracks and GIs,
Construction
you're going to
complete.
want to pump out some IFVs. It's kind of strange how I never really relied on IFVs whatsoever, but they're really good at countering this
Construction
one
complete.
unit.
Unit report. Securing position. Weapons ready.
Now, Kirovs are
New construction
rather
options.
slow, and
Building.
generally speaking, not
Structure
that much
garrison.
to, or
Unit
a
ready.
big thing to worry about
Teleporting troops arriving in
if
5,
you don't have any sort of
4,
anti-air defense.
3,
Thankfully, the fact that we have at least 8 IFVs that were
Unit lost.
teleported to us at the beginning means that we can make short work of them. The additional IFVs we get as well just sort of add to that.
Unit report. Speed low drag.
Training.
Now, the GIs are basically entirely
Unit
for these
ready.
bunkers. You're not really going to need to have them
Unit
go out
ready.
on the map and capture
Building.
buildings elsewhere.
Destination.
It might be handy to have a few up in the top right and top left, just in case the AI decides to sneak somebody in, but it's not really necessary. I only ever saw one tank at the top left, and I think it's just there by default rather than some sneaky ploy. I don't know if there's an issue with the AI rebuilding stuff. It always felt to me like there was something missing, in the sense that I've taken out a couple ore refineries, or at least you should focus
Unit
on
ready.
those if possible.
Unit
But it
ready.
doesn't really feel like the AI ever replaced any of them. So I don't know if it's one of those. It's where
Unit ready.
they've removed its ability to build anywhere,
Building.
or if it's just some
Building.
sort of it doesn't designate it as
Unit ready.
important. In any case, if
Unit
it's
ready.
not like incredibly obvious, you'll want to take out those refineries. They're rather exposed
Unit
and,
ready.
well, just less points for the AI to drop resources on.
Unit ready. Unit
Sadly, this
promoted.
is one of those effects of the prism tank that you can't really get
Unit
around.
ready.
While
Unit
it does
lost.
have that radial explosion that's
Unit ready.
random, you can't really prevent your own units as well as neutral
Construction complete. Unit
buildings
lost.
or units themselves
deploy
from taking
here.
any damage,
Unit promoted.
which is unfortunate.
Construction complete. New rally point established. Unit ready. Unit lost.
Good to go. Unit securing position. Yes, sir.
We can also see that, well, like at least the previous mission, the Soviets have the
lost.
nuclear missile, and now on top of that they have the Iron Curtain. If you've been watching the LPs so far, you know that the Iron Curtain is a rather
Unit ready.
dangerous
Unit lost.
weapon to be up
Building.
against.
Good to go. Destination.
Low power.
For the uninitiated, it makes any unit within that's targeted invincible
Unit
for a period of time.
Unit reporting.
Warning. Iron curtain activated.
Yes, sir.
Now, in the first Red Alert game, like the Chronosphere, it
Construction
only targeted
complete.
a single unit.
Our base is
Nowadays,
under
it targets an entire field.
Unit ready.
The
Warning.
field is
Nuclear
the same
missile
as the
launched.
Chronosphere as far as I'm aware, so it still has that, I guess, 3x3 square.
Our base is under attack. Unit lost. Low power.
Rather annoyingly, I was under the impression that
Cannot deploy
the
here.
in
Repairing.
this
Repairing.
specific level, I
Repairing.
was told by a guide that if
Repairing.
you build away from the first power plant,
Building.
basically just have your construction yard there and a power plant and build away from it, the AI would always target it. It wouldn't kill your construction yard, it would take out the power plant, you'd replace the power plant, repair your construction yard, and continue doing so. Not the case, sadly. That being said, if you play your cards right, and with a 20-minute cooldown, you don't really have to worry about ever taking a second hit from a nuclear missile, unless you're just unlucky or aren't really doing particularly well. Now, once you've gotten your base set up, you've got some money, some nice defenses, again, you're constantly pumping out
Unit
IFVs
ready.
if you can.
Cannot deploy here.
You get one
Incoming
of
transmission.
two really overpowered, well, one really overpowered unit, and
Well, Commander,
you get to keep
I
using
have
an overpowered
learned
ability.
It's never a good idea to play around with the forces of nature. But with this evil Romanov running loose again, we have no choice. This weather control device provides very advanced manipulation of the weather patterns. These are God's toys, Commander. Use them wisely.
Warning. Chronosphere activated.
Basically, the lightning strike is, in a way, similar to a nuclear
Ore
strike.
miner under
It
attack.
doesn't leave any sort of residue
Construction
that
complete.
melts away infantry, but it does a significant amount of damage to a specific area.
Cannot deploy here.
Also, I actually
Building.
thought I was building a prism tower, and I built a gap tower, gap generator. It's not really useful. It creates some shade over a specific area, and that's about it. Anyways, the more important unit is the Chrono Legionnaire. Basically, this is a broken unit. If only because the AI never quite knows how to react to it. Under normal circumstances, you, if ever faced against a Chrono Legionnaire, should immediately swarm it with as many units as you can. Likely, even if it's just 2 infantry, although you're always better to have more, you're going to be able to counter a Chrono Legionnaire.
Never exist. Get after it.
Basically, Chrono Legionnaires can teleport across the map anywhere they want, can reach areas that aren't accessible to any other unit. I guess, unless like you have a chronosphere or a transport of some sort.
Unit promoted.
And basically, they
Construction complete.
target a unit or structure, and after a set amount of time, based on based on their value, aka how much it costs, and after an elapsed time, it disappears. It's considered eliminated, so your Chrono Legionnaires do get value and will increase in rank, making them much more efficient in teleporting or eliminating subsequent units. The only thing that the Chrono Legionnaires can't do is target air units, unless something's changed, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. The only real downside to Chrono Legionnaires is if they teleport over a long distance, then obviously it will take them longer for them to recuperate from that teleportation.
Select target.
All that said and done, though, honestly, just
Warning.
plan your
Lightning
teleports
storm created.
a little better, and you never have to worry about that vulnerability. I remember as a kid losing quite a few Chrono Legionnaires, and generally speaking, it was just because I teleport them across the map, didn't really pay attention, and they would die while waiting to be able to react. Now, I had some plan to use a bunch of Rocketeers, but honestly, you don't need them. Again, as soon as you have the Chrono Legionnaires, you're basically gonna win. The only thing to really keep in mind is that, yes, the AI will constantly pump out Kirov blimps, and you definitely want to take those out as soon as possible. But other than that, you're under no significant rush. And if it's not obvious, I didn't mention, but anything that's being chronoed, I guess we'll call it, can't fight back. So again, if you have a handful, a pack, whatever, of Chrono Legionnaires, they're basically invincible.
Lost.
The only thing that could make them better is if you had medics.
Primary objective achieved. Unit lost. Lost.
Something tells me that prison tanks shooting at a nuke wouldn't be safe.
Unit ready. Mission accomplished.
Where's Romanov?
After months of brutal fighting, Allied forces have captured Soviet Premier Romanov and his Kremlin command post late this afternoon in a dizzying show of high technology and good old military discipline. Much of the credit for the amazing success of the Allied campaign goes to a little-known commander from...
And there's some alright headlines in those. If you want to pause, go back and reread them.
When you're done patting yourself on the back, I have a little proposition for you. The president has invited you, us, to his victory gala at the White House tonight. I thought maybe you'd want to ride. Just listen for the sound of the helos. Oh, and for heaven's sake, hit the showers, soldier.
Alright, so that was a little strange, but don't worry, it gets a lot weirder in the Soviet campaign. Regardless of all that, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough through the Allied campaign. Stick around, the Soviet campaign shouldn't be too long, and as always, thanks for watching.